like to call the June 2nd Select Board meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, just a couple of minor agenda shifts here. We're going to be passing over agenda item 4D as it is no longer required. We are going to be moving agenda item 4G up to the top of the order here before 4A in support of our small businesses here in Upton. So with that, I will hand it over to you, Kristen.
So lots going on. I think this report might get longer every time I do it. I'll have to try to work on shortening it, but there's just a lot right now to nail down. So for Elder and Social Services, the food pantry has seen almost a 25% increase since last month, serving 42 families in town. And the department is hiring a program specialist. You can visit the town's website if you are interested or refer folks there. I'm looking into possible shared backup animal control services with some adjacent communities, including Grafton, Northbridge, and Westboro, just trying to see if we can get some coverage there, or it's something we might possibly be able to bring in-house, but I figured I'd start by looking to see what's out there that's existing. I also spoke with the Mass Office of Disabilities and a number of employees and determined that because I want more work, it makes the most sense at this time to have the town manager serve as the ADA coordinator. I have that background previously, and I've been working closely with the building commissioner. It's not strictly about buildings. A lot of it comes to reasonable accommodations, and I have a lot of experience in that area. So I think it makes the most sense. And, you know, we've got some folks in the community that are very tapped in and willing to assist as well if issues should arise. I also received the resignation of John Kehoe from the Historical Commission. Would like to thank him for his service. In terms of the police department, we discussed traffic concerns during our monthly meeting. That's the majority of the complaints that the department is getting. And they're looking into obtaining some data monitoring technology, possibly initially borrowed from CMRPC. They're called like Black Cat boxes, and they can take some really good data without all the flashing signs that notify everybody what's going on, to which you either speed up or slow down depending on how you feel when you see those signs. So this will give you accurate data there. Innocuous, you really don't see them on poles. They're also working hard at reaccreditation this fall. That's a huge undertaking that's coming up. And there are 2 new communications officers that are in training, and they are doing well. The Land Use and Inspectional Services Department's been working on a zoning bylaw rewrite. They were awarded a $63,000 grant to partner with CMRPC to do this, and they're putting a committee together to facilitate these discussions, as they are going to more primarily be daytime meetings. I was asked if I would participate. I agreed, and that way I can kind of keep that information flowing back and forth with the board as to what's going on. Fire and EMS still seeing consistent call volume. EMS responses are a significant portion of overall service demand, which reinforces the importance of maintaining adequate paramedic staffing, which we're going to talk about in a bit, and transport capability. The repeater project is complete, and it had partial funding from 911, from the 911 state 911 development grant. The project expands coverage and reliability of the radio service network that serves Upton and Hopedale. So in terms of recreation at this time, numbers are down so far for Kids at Play registrations. They've received approximately 1/3 to half of the normal registrations. And there are concerns about potential deficit, therefore, in the revolving fund, even after using their rollover funds. So I have reached out to the finance director to discuss how we could possibly handle a potential shortage of funds. It would likely involve an article at fall town meeting to discuss the use of free cash. So in my experience, There are very few towns that are capable of running a self-sustaining rec department, but that is a choice. And that is something that we will need to be discussing further as we get into the FY 28 budget process. I just wanted to bring that to your attention at this time. We have heard that our First Amendment auditor friends are back in the area, so I did a little bit of a mini email training with some links for folks. I'm going to be talking about that at the department head meetings. And just for those of you that know, public spaces, employees can be filmed in public spaces, and oftentimes they come with cameras and they ask questions and you respond to them politely as if you would any other resident that comes in to ask questions. But sometimes folks don't understand that they do have the right to film. And so some strange things have happened that we don't want to, see that happen here. So working on that. We're also working on end of year closeout, believe it or not. It is June, including all of our forms for next year. And as Paul and I were just discussing, I did confirm that spending from gifts and trusts is exempt from state procurement laws under 30B. I checked with town council because I got 2 different answers from 2 different procurement folks that are experts. So that was the final say. A couple of upcoming events. The town hall will be closed on July 3rd for the July 4th holiday. That is a Friday. There is a Healthy Aging Resource Fair on June 10th. Hazardous Waste Day at DPW on the 13th. And Dementia Friends Community Training on June 16th. Groundbreaking on the Habitat for Humanity project at 28 Hartford North Ave on June 22nd. And on June 23rd, there's going to be a SCAMS presentation at the community center with the Worcester DA's office and Upton PD. So all of that, the details of that are in my report. If you would like any more information on that, please let me know. And then the final section I added are potential upcoming discussion items, things that have been coming to my attention as I've been starting to settle in. We have received a request from the Historical Society to use the first floor of the Racine building and are slated to potentially discuss this at the next select board meeting. They are available, so I tentatively put that on the agenda. The West Upton Visioning would like to give a brief presentation, the EDC, to the board on the 16th. I'm working on the Town Manager Act update. That also includes MOUs with Recreation, Library, Trustees, and Board of Health around HR and personnel management. We have the town's capital plan with the Collins Center and looking at perhaps a capital bylaw update to further clarify the roles and responsibilities there. Number of policy updates, the town sign out here that's been, I'm pointing in the wrong direction, that's been brought to my attention that needs to be completed. I will be actually starting, believe it or not, on the FY 28 budget calendar because that's going to come out in September. And we're working on a phone system upgrade for public safety right now. That's all I have for you right now.
Thank you.
Great. Any questions?
No,
Very nice.
What was the % on the food pantry increase from last month?
25.
25.
It's a total of 42 families.
Thank you.
Sure.
And is there any supply issues like with that increase? Are they able to sort of keep up and sort of maintain a level of support? Or
Yeah.
they sort of have to spread more thin, or how does that work?
That's a great question. Let me follow up with Tanya. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Just to see if there's anything we can do to drum up additional, if you sort of spread that word, I would imagine people would step up. I'm confident they wouldn't have.
it's been last year, the year
I think
before,
so, too.
and we put it out on Facebook. They had a list
Yeah.
of specifically what they needed, or gift cards,
Yeah.
and everybody
people
came
did
to
it.
the forefront. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yep,
Great.
so let's take advantage of that. I mean, and Tanya knows that, but still, it's
She does,
worth
yeah, it's
mentioning.
worth, because if we.
Yeah.
So one thing that works on Facebook is help.
Yep. Very good. All right, with that, I will take any public comment. Please, just introduce yourself and speak away.
Wilden, 7 Nelson Street. I just wanted to bring to your attention, some of you know that in part of the infrastructure for the smart meters, there are towers going up that could possibly have 5G transmitters on them. And we have bylaws that require application process for that in town. And so what we're being told is because it's not for personal wireless, but because it's for infrastructure for the smart meters, we may have no recourse except that they're in the public right of way. So what we were hoping for, not to have it in town, but to have a 350-foot setback from homes, you know, that this can be problematic for people with immunocompromised children, small developing brains and that sort of thing. And also property values, if it's plunked down on somebody's property, which it has been. And just hoping that maybe if we work with National Grid, they might be able to easily make their infrastructure and keep the 350-foot setback if there's something we could do to work together with them. So I'm hoping that there is a way we can do it so it's not all their gain and all our loss. It's just where we worked so hard to put this into writing and pass the small cell bylaw some years ago. What's happened with the draft policy, that the rule, what it said was the select board and the planning board refer to this policy, and that had the setback in it. And it took a very long time to get to town council, and now town council's had it for a long time, and we passed this like 2-3 years ago, and we don't have the strength behind it to enact what people say they want. So hopefully we can, I would like to, so we can talk to them about it, and they may be able to, I think they need to put 35 throughout town. There's probably not a difficult way to do it, to have it away from homes and schools. And it would be greatly to all our benefit if we could do that. So I know I guess it's a select board thing with polls, and so maybe there's something that you can do.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Any other comments?
This is David Brooks. As you know, I wrote the policies and procedures. Such a suggestion would be contrary to federal regulation, and in fact, the FCC has indicated they're going to tighten that up. So if we try to have a large setback for presumably health reasons, that'll be litigated immediately. We wouldn't be able to do it. I just wanted to say that. I've been
Okay,
following the
thanks.
FCC regulations on this.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Next, if there's no more public comment, I will transition over to the consideration of Rushford and Sons Brewhouse requests for 8 one-day wine and malt licenses.
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
We have Brian Goodman here, Rushford and Sons Brewhouse. They are requesting 8 one-day beer and wine licenses for the Kiwanis Summer Concert Series with 1 rain date.
Perfect. You see that here? Any questions from the board?
It's something we do every year.
Anything you want to say, Mr. Goodman?
Eric, can I come up?
Sure.
Sure. We've got that
First,
great
yeah.
chair.
Yep, Brian Goodman, one of the co-owners of Rushford and Sons Brewhouse, not very far away from here, can say that. First of all, thank you so much for making the accommodation to bring it to the front of the agenda. It works out great because I can be here in person tonight, but also we have an all-employee meeting starting in a few minutes. So it's great because I can address you guys and answer any questions you may have. And also just express my gratitude for the business environment in this town. I know we opened during a very difficult time, opened in December 2020 for a place, which was a challenge, but I feel like it's been a while since I've been in front of one of the boards in town, so I would take the opportunity to say, well, to express our collective gratitude and my personal gratitude to this town, because I know we were at the time, now we're, in year 6, so we're kind of, old hat, but at this point, no, it was a new thing for the town, a new thing for us, and a big change for my life and a lot of our lives, and just in retrospect, couldn't ask for a better town for us to open our business in. So I know this is going to be the 6th year we're doing the Kiwanis Beach Pours. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, but I can say we're going to do the exact same thing we've been doing for the last 5 years. That it seems to, in my experience and understanding, has been working great for everyone. So, that's what we intend to do, but I feel like I would take this opportunity in person to express my gratitude to the town of Upton and everybody seated here for having us, and really appreciate the great dialogue we have at Town Hall.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your couple remarks.
Any questions?
No.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll take a motion.
I make a motion that we approve Rushford and Sons Brewhouse request for 8 one-day wine and malt licenses.
You want to say the dates?
Go ahead.
I can, oh. you got
Okay,
it. Oh,
6/24, 7/1, 7/8, 7/15, 7/22, 7/29, 8/15, 8/12, and a rain date of 8/19.
Yeah, it's 8/5.
8.
Yeah,
Did I? Okay.
all good.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous action. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Have a great meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all.
You bet. Thank you. Next on the agenda is item 4A, discussion of Holy Angels with Community Preservation Committee. I think Mike is here from CPC. Thank you. So this is just a continuation of our ongoing dialogue around dispositioning Holy Angels. So I'd love to hear what's on your mind.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you for putting me on the agenda. So I listened to the, most of the meeting 2 weeks ago where Holy Angels was discussed. And after that, I had some conversations with an EDC member. And I thought, it might be worth a couple of things. One is we've arranged for the Historical Commission to meet with the CPC at our meeting tomorrow night, our monthly meeting tomorrow night. So I just want to say, I'm kind of maybe a little bit ahead of the cart here tonight. So I can't really say what the committee's feelings are concerning funding on the church. I can give you some information then.
Please.
And I think the first thing to just to make clear is that CPC funds could be used to fund repairs to the roof, to the bell tower, to the other things that the structure needs to continue to exist, basically. And one question that came up when I was talking to the EDC member is possibility of a special town meeting this summer. I know there was discussion about if the funding was not approved until fall, then the building would go through another winter without being buttoned up. And so, in the past, I think it's been quite a few years ago, but the town has occasionally had special town meetings in the summer, kind of cleanup meetings. They were mostly fall, I think. But, if the board was to consider that, I guess I think a question for Dennis, DPW director, would be, would it make a difference? I don't know how long it would take Dennis to do all the contracting work to get someone on the roof repairing it. Is that a 4-month process, 6 months? I just don't know. So, if you had a special town meeting, say in end of July, would there be enough time to button up the building? I wonder, I don't know, but that's a Dennis question. And then the other thing that kind of came up too is if CPC funds were used to repair the building, what would happen if the building was then subsequently sold or leased? And I've reached out to the Community Preservation Coalition for some guidance on this, and I'm still waiting for some input from them. But I think there are several alternatives. First off, this is, from what I've heard from CPC, so Community Preservation Coalition, this is by no means a unique situation. It's happened before, throughout the Commonwealth. But some alternatives would be this, subject to town council review. The town could choose to sell the building with a historic preservation restriction. That would be one option. The town could sell the building without a restriction, and that's because the building was not purchased using CPA funds. If the building had purchased CPA funds, you couldn't sell it without a restriction. But apparently, there's a wrinkle in the law that says if it wasn't purchased with CPA funds, then you could conceivably sell it without a restriction in place. Whether that would be a good idea or not, and whether the towns, taxpayers would like that idea, but it's an option. And then another option would be to sell it, but ask the buyer to repay the CPA investment. So there's at least 3 possibilities, and there may be others. Hoping to hear more from the CPA Coalition, Stuart Saginaw, is the director. Last thing I want to say, if the building was privately owned, say that it was transferred to, sold or even leased to some other entity, it could still be eligible for CPA funding. If there was a public use, a public benefit associated with, the new owner. And also there would need to be a preservation restriction. And an example of this would be a year or two ago, the Upton Grange received CPA funding for a lot of work there. And that is a privately owned building, was owned by nonprofit essentially. And there was a provision for a preservation restriction associated with that. I could try to answer any questions. That's all I was prepared to say, but again, the CPC is meeting tomorrow night. We invited the Historical Commission to attend to discuss this further.
Thank you, appreciate it. I think it's important that we continue the dialogue and conversation. So this is useful. It's a lot more information than we had when we last met. Dennis, I know Dennis and Kristen spoke about this. I spoke with Dennis for a half hour, 45 minutes or so yesterday, just to sort of get his perspective as best I could, knowing that he was not going to be here. Certainly, we don't need to do anything tonight, so we can make sure that we hear from Dennis firsthand before we, make any kind of decisions. But he did say that while it's possible, right, that it would take, I'm guessing it would take Denise a while, 30 to 45 days or so, to get a special town meeting scheduled. And so, like you said, we're talking about sort of the middle, end of July. And then once, if that went, however that goes, then trigger sort of Dennis to take his action. It's definitely tight to get quotes and go through the procurement process and actually get a vendor that's going to start work late in the season, because a lot of people are trying to get work done, especially roofs, late in the season. So you kind of run into that crunch a little bit. So while he said, by all means, it's something that we can strive for and shoot for, and there's not necessarily a reason not to try to do it, it would be very unlikely that we would realistically be able to get that work completed before the winter came. If the weather changes and the weather's good, if we get a good contractor, like that could change, but certainly worth putting that into the conversation. I just want to sort of be realistic about people's expectations, because I think that does play a little bit into, our decision around, would we even consider a special town meeting for this kind of purpose or not, right? And I don't know the answer to that. That's for us to deliberate, but I did just want to share Dennis's sort of comment. So I'll go
I
ahead.
appreciate
Yeah.
that, but I also want to know what the cost of a special town meeting is. And, for logistically, if we're looking at something towards, say it was, I don't know when it could be scheduled, but the minute you get into mid-April, mid-August, you run into people going back to college,
Oh,
people
yeah.
delivering their kids, vacations. August is one of the biggest vacation months. I mean, and then is it even feasible just to pull it forward a month or two?
Yeah.
Because so many people would be upset they would miss it.
What? do we have
But I don't know what a town meeting costs. I know it's not free. Do you know, Kristen?
I was trying to gather some of that information, because every town does it a little differently in terms of printing costs. Election
Yeah.
workers, some towns have volunteer election workers, some, those who don't. So I did speak with Denise briefly, and I found her email here and it just went away on me. Sorry, hold on a second.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, just a minute.
Got too many emails in here that say town meetings. Can't
Can't imagine.
So, you have your cost of whatever the workers would be that have to check folks in, the cost to print the warrant. I mean, you're talking at least several $100s. It could be upwards of 1,000 or a little bit more. And that's kind of where we're at, ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it 1,000? Is it 50?
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
But
Even if we have a special town meeting,
not guaranteed that we'd have ready to button up by winter.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of what
I think
Dennis was saying, right? So, and we did look and the estimates that came, so he still obviously is based on our last meeting, took our guidance and is working to get sort of an estimate of what would need to be done. There's an estimate in there for the roof and the trusses, which is, I think, $175,000. And he said that would sort of be the first thing you'd want to do. And then there was work to make the steeple or the bell tower sort of watertight, and that was another $35,000. So the ballpark, based on the estimates we got in the fall for this exact work, was about $210,000. That's less of an issue for us and more for CPC to sort of take that and then, assess and have the conversation around what's required. There was another line item in the estimate for repairs that was $290,000, which was the envelope repairs. And that is like, there's I think it's the east side of the river, the riverside wall is sort of bowed and they need to repair that. So there was more than there was not an insignificant amount of work required to sort of make it paint ready, like let's put a coat of paint on it. Because originally there was some discussion like, can we get the roof and the painting done before winter? And I think with that being a $290,000 bill, I'm not sure CPC, I mean, maybe you want to consider that as well, but that's worth at least looking at. So it's not, I thought there was maybe like $20,000 worth of scraping and replace a few clapboards. It's not, it's a real big thing.
If you
So
peek, there's actual holes.
yeah, oh, I've seen them.
Yeah.
So I put my arm through them. The
I didn't do that. You were
yeah.
brave.
So really, I think that the number one thing Dennis said was like getting the roof taken care of, because a lot of the damage that's in the walls and in the siding and in the clapboards is coming because there's water permeating through the roof structure. And so that's kind of coming down into the walls. So he said if you did the roof, that would kind of cover what, he's making it up, right? But like 99.
And the bell tower.
And the bell towers, the roof, the trusses and the bell tower all need to be done. And that's essentially putting a cap on it. And then the whole thing is covered, it's waterproofed, and you're not doing any more significant damage. He did say, if you're not dehumidifying it, the wood that's there that's soft is still a sponge. Even if on a humid day, it's going to get soft. That's just the way wood works. It turns into a sponge when it rots. So he said, you're not going to be able to stop that. He said, but stopping any new water, fresh water from going directly in is going to help significantly. So that was Dennis's take on it. So we still have to figure out, the CPC has to have their conversation. We've got to think about, the $500 or $1,000 on the town meeting, maybe talk to Denise and find out like, what's the fastest we could get a town meeting in the books, based on what we know now and what would she need to do that? And is that 30 days? I mean, obviously it's not 30 days, it would be the beginning of July, but I'm assuming it would end up being the end of July, but she may come back and say, hey, you know what, there's a reason we can't do it that way. And I'm not suggesting we agree to do it or not do it. I'm just saying we should ask that question of how quickly. Mr. Flaherty?
You were considering the issue of a special town meeting. I'm led to believe, and I've heard it from a couple of reliable sources, that there are no activities taking place at Nipmuc Regional at the high school this summer because their capital plan is going into effect. And amongst them are removing the chairs and the seats and the rugs in the auditorium.
Well, there's an unexpected wrinkle.
I would suggest that maybe if you plan on doing.
I'm used to people throwing roadblocks up, but boy, that's a good one.
You seek that, make sure you have a venue for it.
For sure, good. Thank you for pointing that out, because boy, we thought we struggled at our last town meeting. That would be much worse if people showed up and there were no seats. Yeah, thank you.
We've done that before.
Did anybody
Yeah, but then-
remember the weather we had this Saturday? It was like winter. Hello.
Yeah, and the outside issue could, like, that would be an option, but that definitely increases the cost significantly, getting a rental
Gotta
tent
get
and all
a
that
tent
stuff.
and
Yes,
get it
right.
right.
So, okay, great, thank you. That's,
Would be here.
Yeah.
Or if you make a deal with BBT.
okay. All right, so let's,
The meeting has to be held in the town.
in the,
He couldn't do it at Misco.
that's right, okay.
Puts 1 foot, nothing. Is that okay?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, yeah, okay, that's good. So let's talk to Denise about that, and then obviously whatever that timing is, then we would check with the school to see if they're realistically gonna be doing work there yet or
I
not.
know there were no activities at all.
Yeah.
in that building,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and well, yeah, we won't get into the fireworks and what happened there, but they're good. Okay, that's a great point. Thank you. Any other thoughts,
Looks like
comments,
we need a
questions
lot
right now?
more information.
I need a lot more information also.
What information do you need?
Well, it
Just
looks
so we
like
can get
Mike
it?
needs to know what he can and can't do, what the balances are. You know, you're having your meeting tomorrow night, like you said, it's kind of the cart before the horse.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
Yeah,
you know,
good.
Dennis has given us our numbers, but, now we don't have a venue.
yes.
So just.
We don't
just
know.
let's
We have to
wait.
confirm
Well, this
whether or
is
not.
what I
we have
mean.
a
These
venue.
are the things we need to confirm before we do any.
I just wanna make sure there's not anything we didn't cover.
I came up with 3
Okay.
good suggestions on selling, or, you know, if that was the way they wanted to go, with a restriction or without a restriction.
Yeah.
And maybe we should take a look at that if the
Mhm.
CPC has, you know, reserves about putting that kind of money into it.
Yeah.
And then we should also look at auctioning it.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Okay,
Works.
great. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
appreciate
Mike.
the time.
Thank you very much. Bear with me. Next up, oh, yep,
Ed Phillips, 35 Oak Drive, Upton, Fred Weinfuss on the Historical Commission. We came because our concern with the discussion we had 2 weeks ago kind of shut everything down. And this came as quite a surprise to us. I did, on behalf of Dennis, reach out to the contractor who restored the branch and asked if he would, as a favor, give me a ballpark on replacing the roof. New sheathing, new shingles, repairing any holes, openings to the steeple and painting the steeple, because you're gonna have to put scaffolding all over around the steeple for doing any repairs to the steeple. And I just got 2 hours ago a ballpark of $50,000 to do that work, which is a third of what our engineer says that structure will cost.
Is that replacing the trusses?
I was gonna say, that's the piece we probably have to add into that, but still, yeah.
Close the envelope so it stops leaking. I can certainly ask the gentleman to look at the truss. I sent him the engineering report, so he has the whole report.
Yeah.
But I can't see the truss replacement costing $100,000. It's,
I was gonna say,
Is
it's worth
that
just,
prevailing wage as well?
that's prevailing wage.
yeah, it's worth just asking to add that, because that's the only variable, like, we'll wanna do the trusses at the same time, just because we don't wanna put, it's like, when Dennis puts in the pipes before we pave the road, right, like, we're basically locking up the top of that for a while, so it'll be a lot easier to do the
Says
trusses.
that the question is, and I will certainly broach that with the contractor, the question is whether that's done from the inside or done from the outside. If that's done from the inside, it doesn't need to be done when the roof is reshingled.
Yeah, that's right.
It can be done later on.
Yep. Yep.
But, certainly a point, and I don't wanna step on the path that Dennis is taking.
Yeah,
I just need to assist him with trying to get some numbers from him.
That-
I knew he was on vacation.
that's what we're trying to do, so that's great. More information is better, right, when we can sort of pull it all together and tease it apart and sort it out as we go, but that's great to have a ballpark of $50,000 for that.
We're gonna meet with the CPC tomorrow night, and I guess have this discussion about what funding options are to
Yeah.
restore the exterior of that building. And
Yeah.
I think we're in favor of a preservation restriction, even if especially if the building's sold, so that
Yeah.
it's not come in and ask for a demolition permit.
Right, yeah, I mean, it's,
Back to square zero, that would be awful.
I won't belabor it because everybody knows how I feel about it, but I think that the community, the town, has, through multiple votes at town meeting, shared their very clear desire for that building to be maintained and preserved. Right? There's over a handful of votes where town meeting majority has said what they wanted. So I really think that it would behoove us to honor that with whatever kind of transaction we end up deciding is the right kind of transaction.
We're trying to separate the difference of a complete restoration of that building,
That's right.
which is not what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Protection of the building while some option is worked out, but that keeps the exterior structural appearance, which is what the townspeople seem to have supported the last several years. So
Yeah. Great,
no more, no less.
great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All set. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
More information is good.
more
Yep.
information is good. We're gonna keep it coming. All right. We covered scheduling and plan. Oh, no, we didn't. This is a fall special town meeting. This is just our regular fall special town meeting.
Yes.
Got it. All right,
Through the chair.
please.
I was asked at the last board meeting to look into November 19th as a possible fall town meeting date. And the town clerk moderator and our IT folks are all available on November 19th. I just wanted to ask if that is later or than normal, because I did confirm that we will have free cash certified as normal in
I think the
September.
only reason you were suggesting doing it later was because of free cash. But
Yeah,
if free
yeah.
cash is gonna be certified in September, October, then I don't know that we need to move. it.
Yeah, I mean, no, we don't need to move it. It used to be later. Because I know for a few years I would travel, I always traveled when my kids were little for
Thanks.
Thanksgiving and I historically missed it.
That's what I was. wondering.
And then I think maybe because it conflicted with Thanksgiving, it got moved earlier. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't gonna have a repeat
Yeah.
of last year because it was so fun and
It-
exciting.
It conflicts with.
Historically, it had been the last week in October, first
Right.
week and a half, first
Okay.
10 days. of
That works for me
Yeah.
as long as we have free cash.
Yeah. The assessors and the treasurer. They gotta get the
I know.
back goes out.
Yeah,
Set the
Well,
tax
that's
rate,
first.
have the hearing and.
Right.
Yep.
okay.
That works. The beginning works. It's just, like I said, we passed a few things at November town meeting. Free cash wasn't certified. We put them back on in May. I don't want to repeat.
Good.
Understood.
On the record, so.
On the record.
And we now
Didn't
know.
want to repeat,
Yeah.
learned our lesson.
So would you like me to check on other potential November dates?
Yeah, whatever. Look at the past 10 years of dates and just pick the date that's that date. It's like usually the last week I think it's usually the first week of November, but
Okay, so that would be November 5th if it's the first Thursday, or November 12th if it's the second.
I'd say the 5th.
Check on the
That's what
5th.
we would normally do, right?
I think so.
I didn't,
The 5th
The
would
5th
not be the
would be
normal
the
date that we
Thursday.
would, yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the Thursday, that's the first Thursday in November. Yeah. Okay,
I will check on that.
super.
That will be important when we're building the calendar for the budget calendar that I typically build, goes all the way through fall town meeting into
Yeah.
budget and spring town meeting, so.
Nice.
Love that.
See what TV about that.
You can say one teeny thing about it or one big thing about it.
In terms of fixing up the Holy Angels, last meeting that you had, there was some talk about patching the roof. As before, we realized we could get a new roof with no cost to taxpayers. But if we can't get it done from July to the beginning of winter and we wait until November, we certainly can't get it done before winter. And that could be snow
Yeah.
blowing, and Dennis told us how unsafe the trusses are, so we don't want more damage. There's been so much damage done in the last few years because of weather and that sort of thing. So just in terms of thinking about that one particular thing, early date, I don't know if we can do anything with the November vote.
I wouldn't recommend pushing it into October because you're also at the mercy of DOR. You have so many cities and towns submitting
Yeah, I mean, even if
free
you,
cash in the fall.
Dennis isn't sure we can get the roof done if we have a meeting in July. So we'll definitely cross that bridge when we come to it, to sort of go as aggressively as we can to try to get something done and see where we are. We'll get the information on when the meeting can be and how quickly we can do it, what it would cost, where we can have it, and we'll get the CPC update from Mike probably next time, and we'll see where we are. All right, thank you. Next, we have a vote to accept a $50 donation for Senior Center Future Needs. Somebody want to talk about this one?
I can if you would like. This is a generous donation of $50. It was unsolicited from resident Ali Saeed to the ESS department, and they are very grateful and ask that the board please accept this donation.
Okay, I have a motion.
I move that we accept a donation of $50 from resident Ali Said.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. We're skipping over 4D. We're going to 4E, execution of documents for conveyance of conservation restriction for Forest Heights.
Through the chair. So this, I believe we have Steve, is it Chaplin or
It
Chaplin?
is.
From MTC here with us this evening. Come on up if you'd like. And I can just start off by explaining, you just mentioned that we're passing over the order of taking for Forest Heights. That is no longer necessary. We now have an agreement for discharge of the restriction, which is something that you'll be asked to sign this evening, along with the conservation restriction, title insurance affidavit, and a compliance agreement. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that. or-
Please.
Not unless the board has specific questions, but in essence, you have the agreement for discharge or restriction, which kind of gives you the big picture and the context, which the board is aware of. And then it contemplates that there will be, it's in essence a real estate closing, so the board will, in addition to needing to sign the documents that have been provided tonight, designate someone to sign the settlement statement. Gets a little bit complicated, if you're selling your home or buying a home, if,
a lot of signatures.
something, they just call you, but when you're, charging a corporation, someone has to sign on the corporation's behalf, so just need to figure out who that is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just like a typical real estate transaction.
So to that point, I would ask the chair if you could authorize me to sign the settlement statement and any other documents relative to this matter that may arise after we have this meeting. But the sort of big piece of this is that grant of conservation easement, and that is conveying the 104, almost 105 acres, a conservation restriction amount, and in consideration for payment through SVT Metacomet, as you're familiar with. So
Yes.
Great. Yes.
Fabulous, it's a fabulous gift.
Yeah.
So I make a motion that Kristen be able to sign all documents on behalf of the town of Upton in regards to this transaction.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous action. Okay, good, wonderful.
Like I said, we could need to collect signatures,
yes, I was gonna say the board does have to sign a couple of those documents.
and then I'll take them since my
Take them.
term, so it's asked for.
Oh, yes.
for the
And-
transaction. Perfect.
Kristen, is there anyone in the audience that would like to say anything or be recognized?
I'm the trustee for the Bridgewood Farm Trust and Coleman. I guess I just want to make sure this is going through.
We just want, we, on behalf of the town, can't express enough gratitude for this gift. I mean, what an incredible legacy you're leaving to this town, this community. It will forever be memorialized. It will never be forgotten. And we're so grateful. Thank you.
Just wondering if there could be any signage on the property with my mother's name.
I think a plaque would be appropriate, you
Yeah,
know,
I see all the right heads nodding. Yes, we'll work with you to make that happen.
and we appreciate your patience, and it has been a pleasure working with you, and truly,
And
Upton is spectacular because of our land.
working with him
Good.
is, so thank you.
Thank you so
We
much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
They sign just at the meeting. They're not notarized because they don't have a notary here to notarize them. So I don't know if you want to take them back off or how you want to handle that. This one I think you're okay with.
Yeah.
This is the discharge.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's Brett, yeah.
But let's just have Brett, just print his name under the line.
Okay.
So
Brett, would you be so kind?
I can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, that one's, oh, so someone has to notarize that.
Yeah. So typically the town clerk will do a post meeting.
Okay.
Is she still here?
She's still on today.
Let's put her up, I don't know, 4 or 6.
Oh, usually she's not at 6.
So I think what I can do is like farm and grab them.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that's
That
okay.
works. And
Uh, I just live
Mhm.
right next door.
I think that one doesn't require notarization.
No notification. Yeah.
This one, I believe, does for the skip. And also you can have conservation commission to sign this as well. So I don't know if
Yes.
they've done that separately. I have to check on that.
Okay.
So sure, I mean, I've got.
Please.
Oh.
Oh, wonderful.
Perfect and timely. Thank you. Do
Okay.
you want to hand them to me and I'll put it all together?
Yeah, he said would like me to be able to scan both signature pages.
Okay.
So if we can somehow do that tonight.
They have to be notarized anyway, so I can scan it tomorrow when we have the whole kit and caboodle signed, if that works for you.
That would be great. And then just let me know when I can, or you could email them to scan.
I sure will.
And then I'll send them off to whoever, bunch of people want them.
Perfect. Okay, so that one's good. This one is not.
Everything.
Oh, you're gonna leave everything and leave it all up as a package? That makes sense. Okay, perfect.
And Mike, I know we've said it before, but please extend our gratitude to both SVT and Metacomet and their work and all of your work throughout this whole process.
Good times town hall.
Yeah, thank you.
8. So I can stop by.
Yeah.
A little time to notarize.
Awesome. That'll be great. That'll be great.
Okay.
So I can just.
I used to notarize
Yes.
a lot before I represented towns and cities,
Us,
but I don't anymore, so I'm unclear on whether my commission is lapsed or whether it's still active.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine secretly is. And because the town clerk office is out for training for the next couple of days.
Oh, wow.
So, but we will get this situated and I can reach out to you.
Perfect, and I can stop by at some point tomorrow. All right, so we have all the documents signed, we have the affirmative vote. Authorizing you.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I think we're all set.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Nothing else from this side.
All right.
Great, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so
The
much.
lawyer says we're done, so that's a good sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you for coming and
Meant a lot
for
to
doing
have you here.
Yep. Thank you. Did that, we did that. All right, now we are going to be considering the authorization for water and sewer extension under the land development agreement at 45 Milford Street.
Thank you.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes.
So this is the land development agreement for 45 Milford Street. This is the 27 unit project known as Governor's Landing. The purpose of this LDA, as it's affectionately referred to, is to allow the developer to use the town's contractor at their cost to extend the water and sewer to their project. So this is something that Dennis and Mike Antonellis have worked very closely on. It does not, to repeat, come at a cost to the town. It would be a change order with the contractor who's already out there doing the work to be able to tie in the project at the developer's cost.
You're gonna hold the money in escrow, right?
I believe so.
We are, I mean.
Oh, yep, I would believe so. I can confirm with Dennis and Mike on that one.
Yeah. And this is, again, not to speak for him, but he and I did talk about, Dennis and I did speak about this yesterday. And he said he was good with, he's gone through all this, he's good with all of it, like, it makes sense, and he,
Now, is there anything we have to sign
Yeah.
tonight? Okay.
yes.
So you would sign this land development agreement, and the draft is in your packet here. It's a very basic, bare bones that speaks directly to the sewer tie-in and the cost. Obviously, also, they would have to pay the water and sewer
Right.
fees, to the town as well.
Hookups and all that, good.
Correct.
Good?
So, yeah, it would be, I believe it's the entire board. Let me just double check.
Do you have to sign, is there a contract in there?
Yep, this is just the chair, I'm sorry, to sign this one. It's not the entire board.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, please, a motion for the chair, motion to approve and for the chair to sign.
Yep.
I so move. Does that work?
That works. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Documents get all out of order. It's this one right here, if you want to look at it.
I didn't sign it already?
I think you did.
Okay, that's good.
Sure. I
Yeah,
don't know if
all right.
to take a look at it.
I glanced at it, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, and I did read read through the LDA. I reviewed it. I had a discussion with Mike Antonellis and Dennis as well on it, and they are both.
It's okay.
All buttoned up and they're good to go.
Fantastic. We'll take it. All right, next up, we are 6 minutes ahead of schedule. I love it.
Oh, cooking with gas tonight, Brad. Hey, are we spiffy?
Guess I didn't need those
In the
Skittles
first
after all.
You did it. Look at you go.
We have two appointments. One of James Sumner, a firefighter paramedic. And
Oh, sorry.
one of Kason Park, firefighter paramedic.
So it is the recommendation of Chief Bradley, Chief Marchand to extend a conditional offer of employment to James Sumner. He has 10 years of paramedic experience, 5 years as a full-time firefighter medic with Acton, and is a graduate of the Mass Fire Academy Recruit Training Program. Obviously, it's conditional, subject on meeting all pre-employment requirements. I would like to make this appointment. I would ask that the board please affirm my appointment.
Wait for 15 days.
And waive the, thank you, and waive the 15 days.
Yes,
Don't
do that.
I'm good with that. And I'll take a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the conditional appointment of James Sumner as a firefighter paramedic and waive the 15-day employment notice.
I second the motion. Not sure why.
Because you're not used to being
Yeah,
in the
just
middle.
got so excited. I'm not used to
Well,
being in this
like-
seat.
It's like when I take over.
Exactly.
We'll figure it out.
Exactly. We'll get there. We'll get there. Re-equilibrium. All those in favor?
I was gonna say, Maureen
Now
should
it's
say
all those in favor. Yeah. Aye
Aye.
here.
Sounds-
Unanimous. All right, we'll take one for Kason.
Okay,
So Kason, just to clarify, this would be the new position that was funded at town meeting in the FY 27 budget, so it would take effect on or after July 1. Kason is currently a per diem paramedic for the town and has demonstrated the professionalism, clinical ability, and commitment to public service. He has EMS, paramedic, emergency management training, and can jump right in because he's familiar with department operations. Again, this would be a conditional offer based on pre-employment requirements, and also he does need to successfully complete the Massachusetts Career Recruit Firefighter Training. So I would ask, I'd like to appoint Kason Park and ask if the board would affirm that appointment and waive the 15-day waiting period.
I will make that motion to appoint conditionally firefighter Kason Clark, firefighter paramedic, and waive the 15-day waiting period.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous action.
Second.
I know, I should have. Not that
I'm
quick.
still calling it a
I'm not that
unanimous
quick.
though.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. Take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn at 6:52.
Wow.
Bad.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.